I told you so. That's what concerns me. This kid has elite skills, but it is not an elite quarterback.
He has an arrogant arm that he thinks he can make any throw. I mean, this is desperation.
Like, the kid has to get better.
And I think it's fair to say when that happens, to say like, okay, well, I don't feel like we see Josh Allen do that.
Time since 2002, draft a wide receiver, Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers in today's video. Now, I am huge on this team because I think last year just wasn't meant to be. And people don't like that, but I think it's clear whether you're the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the Los Angeles Rams, Washington, whatever, it was Philly's year. Like even on the AFC side, it was Philly's year. All right, whether it was injuries, drops, you name it, Green Bay just could never get into their rhythm. They could never get into their flow. And it's funny because I'm a Packers fan. I'm a lifelong Packers fan. This was like the most underwhelming 11-win season I've ever seen from like an NFL team. I mean, it really is crazy. Green Bay was a top 10 offense. They were a top 10 defense, and they won 11 football games. So, like I said, sometimes it's just not meant to be. And so Jordan Love this upcoming season hopefully reestablishes himself as a top 10 quarterback, because we all remember his late season 2023 run where he was big time throws, good decision making, and he couldn't carry it into 2024. And I blame Brazil. So would Kenny Clark, and so do a lot of Packers fans. But I get it. It's not fair. And I am coping. But hey, sometimes coping is good. Jordan Love's big time throw rate dropped from 5.6 to 3.5% last season. And so that's why I'm so excited with two specific acquisitions. That's Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, two wide receivers that Green Bay took in the draft. And obviously Matthew Golden being in the first round is insane. But let's talk a little bit about Jordan Love. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Real quick, Jair Alexander got cut today. This was anticipated. I'll try to touch on this briefly at the end of the video, but we're talking mainly offense. So Matt LaFleur recently, I think this past week, he rejected the notion that Jordan Love regressed in 2024. And so the big thing for the Packers like fan base right now is it's just funny because, Aaron Rodgers led the Green Bay Packers to a Super Bowl in his third year as the Green Bay Packers starter. 15 years later, Jordan Love is heading into his third own season as the starting quarterback for this team. So obviously, Jordan's actually about to turn 27, same age Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl. So that's like the joke going on right now, is people are saying like, ooh, it's kind of in the stars here, right? We went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, and coincidentally Aaron won it in his third year, and it feels like Jordan Love's going to have a good shot at it here in his third season. But anyways, Jordan got off to a very slow start 2 years ago, all right? And that was the first year post Aaron Rodgers. He looked like the MVP in the second half of the season. Like he was the second half MVP. Over the final 8 games of the 2023 regular season, Jordan Love threw 18 touchdowns and only 1 interception. He finished that season with almost 4,200 passing yards, 32 total passing touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. Now, last year, he finished with about 3,400 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. But the context is where things get interesting, and I don't need to explain to a Packers fan, but here we go. Literally week 1, his final play of the game, I mean, honestly, looking back in hindsight, this should have been avoided. It could have easily been avoided, but sometimes, like I said, it's just not meant to be. In week 1, Jordan Love sprained his MCL. He also had a groin injury in week 8, and there just was never any consistency. There was no practice routine. Like, you had to miss some practices because of setbacks, and Green Bay's offense was never able to get into like a rhythm and a flow. And I keep emphasizing that word because there were games like the New Orleans Saints where they shut them out. And I know New Orleans wasn't a good football team last season, but like they lost, Green Bay lost to all the good teams, Mini, Detroit, Philadelphia, et cetera, but they were always close in these games. And then you'd have a New Orleans game where they would blow them out. The point is, when you're not practicing and you get injured in the first week and Malik Willis has to come in and start, like, you're just fighting a very uphill battle right away. But to make matters even worse, Green Bay ranked 27th in the league with 29 total drops. So before we get into Matthew Golden, I do want to talk on the offensive line real quick, because that was a huge strength last season, and it's also going to be a huge strength this upcoming year. Green Bay ranked third in the NFL with a 79.6 pass blocking grade last year, and then 3 of the 5 starting offensive linemen, including the most important right tackle, Zach Tom, who's an absolute stud, they all recorded grades over an 80. Jordan Love was only sacked 22 times during the regular season, which was the second fewest in the NFL. Keep in mind, he did miss a handful of games, but the running back game is good, right? I'm excited for Marshawn Lynch, but Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love in this offensive line, as long as Jordan stays healthy, you're going to see immediate, at least efficiency, right? Green Bay could still go 11-6 this upcoming season, but it's going to be a much more efficient and a better product watching it. It's not going to be filled with frustration like it was last season, or at least that's what my take would be. So the rookie to watch here is Matthew Golden. And Green Bay's wide receiver room is fascinating because, a lot of these guys were in their sophomore slumps last year, right? Like, Jaden Reed, for example, dropped a lot of footballs. Dontavian Wicks last year dropped a lot of footballs. And unfortunately, Christian Watson went down with an injury. So there was a lot of rumors before the draft happened, because nobody actually thought the Packers were taking a wide receiver in the first round. A lot of it was speculation on who's Green Bay trading for. Who are they going to go out there in free agency and get, we're talking about like March now. So once free agency ended and the only move Green Bay made at the wide receiver position was McCole Hardman, people are like, all right, what's about to happen here? So they go out there, and the first round they draft Matthew Golden, and this dude is so unbelievably fast. He posted a near perfect 99.6 deep PFF receiving grade last year at Texas, and he's going to take the top off of defenses. It's also going to help Jordan Love just with intermediate throws. So Jordan Love had a 65.7 intermediate passing grade last year, which was 35th out of 43 qualified QB. So kind of reminds me of what Aaron Rodgers said. I think it was right after I don't think it was right after the Detroit game. Whenever Aaron Rodgers said it to Jordan Love, like, you make your money in these checkdowns, you make your money on these short completions. And so hopefully Matthew Golden there running the top off of defenses sets up more easy throws for Mr. Jordan Love. But Matthew Golden was seriously so good. He was beating guys in one-on-one. He has very good hands. And the best part is he dropped just 4 passes in 2024 and was one of the best in the class with a 61.1 contested catch rate. And then real quick, Savion Williams in the 3rd round, he's been kind of touted as the boomer bust candidate in some of these clips and OTAs. He's still even struggling with drops, but this is a dude who can do everything. He is also very fast, and like I said, it's boomer bust because he dropped 8 catches in 2024, so that wasn't good. But on the flip side, he also was the best receiver in the class in contested catch rate at 89%. Real quick, I promise you guys, Jair Alexander is no longer a member of the Green Bay Packers. This is fine, especially because they picked up Nate Hobbs. I'm very big on Keyshawn Nixon, very big on all these young guys, but still, somebody needs to step up. Some people are saying it's going to be, I guess Kalen King is kind of the dude who people think is going to step up, because essentially Jair Alexander missed a bunch of football games last year. So it was almost like him not being on the team. So the Packers defensive back room is going to be totally fine. They just need maybe another depth piece, and that might come through free agency. All right. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, and give me a loose win-loss record for the Green Bay Packers next season. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.